Coming up tonight, many eyes around the world going to be watching Longwood University in the vice presidential debates.
Mike Pence and Tim Kaine will square off, discussing several topics in their one and only matchup. News political consultant Dr. Bart Rossi is here this morning with what we can expect. Dr. Rossi, thank you for being here.
Nice to be here again.
Can these two really make a big difference for these candidates?
I don't think they can make a big difference. I don't think it's going to change the direction, move the needle a lot, but it's going to be interesting, especially because I think Pence has to defend Donald Trump. And Donald Trump is very good at marketing himself and presenting who he is. But for someone else to do that, especially with the recent controversy over not paying any taxes and actually losing $1 billion in a year, what does he say? How does he say that? How does he get around this? It's a tough task for him. I don't really envy his position. I think Kaine has an easier task, really.
So what do you advise that he say, or should he focus on what he thinks his strengths are and what he brings?
I think what he should say, and what Trump should have said, really, is that businesses go up and down just like the U.S. economy. And I had a bad year, I had a bad time, I took the losses, and let's move on. But, you know, all of this chatter now about not paying taxes and, you know, people who are makers and takers, and is Donald Trump one of those who just, you know, gets a break and gets to skate off on this? You know, it doesn't really help the GOP when that discussion really goes down that road.
How has this election changed since the first debate? It was certainly heated, and the talk has not stopped since.
Well, I think the first debate really had a tremendous impact on this election. And I think it will have an impact going forward, even if after the second and the third debate, unless something really big happens. If Trump wins the second debate, the presidential debate, which is on Sunday, that could change the scope of this. But I think a tone was set in that first presidential debate, and now that the VPs are going to pick up from that and see how they can enhance the top of the ticket. Will it move the needle? I don't think so, but I think it will be good to watch. It'll be a lot of fun and interesting. And who's going to present as a winning personality? Who's going to look consistent, comfortable in their own skin, somebody who appeals to everyone? And who's going to look like a good listener, a la Reagan or Bill Clinton? Who's going to project that as a VP? I think that's the most interesting factor here.
So for Tim Kaine, what do you do? What do you think he does to make that point? He's got his own top-of-the-ticket candidate who's got her own troubles, untrusted by so many American voters.
I think he has to go with the slogan of the campaign, pitch to everyone. We're for everybody. We are together. That's really the whole concept of their campaign. We want to make America better for everyone, and we want to make sure that it's fair and that the system works for everyone, whether you're a minority, whether you're a white person in college, whoever you are, we want it to work. And he should go down that road, appeal to women and appeal to everyone, and in the Hillary, you know, tradition. He'll probably do reasonably well, like doing that. I think it's harder for Pence at this point in time.
What is the psychology, coming from an expert opinion, of not paying taxes? Some people, there's two camps. Some say that that was a smart business move. Some feel like somehow he cheated the system.
Well, that's a great question, because it's the psychology of it. And not paying taxes does bother a lot of folks who are paying taxes, and they're working hard and paying taxes, and then they see a business guy who's supposed to be so good and so wonderful. Well, how come he's not making money and paying his fair share? How is it that he can actually write off $1 billion? And by the way, a lot of that money might not have been his. It might have been money that investors put in, and then he got the write-off. So a lot of people are going to have trouble getting their arms around that. The psychology, as you say, about that whole issue doesn't really work well in the long run for Trump trying to persuade more voters to come in his camp. Will it hurt him and his current supporters? Probably not.
Well, we'll see how it all goes tonight, if it's a snooze fest or another drag-out cocktail.
That's right.
The vice presidential candidates. Dr. Rossi,
Thanks.
thank you. It's 8:38 in Wink News This Morning. We'll be right back.